What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving back into another Marvel Legends review. If you've been following the channel, then you know I sold my Marvel Legends collection, but I'm a sucker for MCU Marvel Legends figures, so when I saw this I had to get it. And of course I'm talking about Gorr the God Butcher from the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder film. I'm going to go ahead and collect this entire wave, so stay tuned. There'll be some more videos upcoming. But for now, we're going to dive into Gorr the God Butcher. Now, if this is a character you're not familiar with, I'm not going to go into his whole backstory. There's a bunch of videos online that you can look up. But the big thing to note here is that his look in the comics is drastically different from what we're getting in the MCU. And that's probably going to be a point of contention for some people. Some people may have an issue with it. Me personally, I'm not really too concerned about it because Christian Bale is playing the character in the film. And I think giving him this look like they did in the upcoming film is a good thing because he's going to be able to give more emotions through his expressions on his face. So I think that's kind of why they probably did it. If you look at the character in the comics, it would probably be pretty difficult to pull off a lot of emotions, and you know, Christian Bale's a pretty serious actor. So now, with all that aside, I did have this figure for a few weeks, but I wanted to wait until the trailer came out so that I could actually get a good look at Gorr in the film. And this figure does a pretty good job of capturing what we're going to see on the screen. But we'll talk about all the details and everything. Let's go ahead and get him out of the box and take a close-up look. So the only accessory that Gorr comes with is his sword. In the comics, I think it's called All Black. I'm not sure if they're going to keep that name in the film or change it up. But this is his primary weapon and what allows him to basically butcher gods. The robe or cloak or whatever it is that he has wrapped around his shoulders, draping down his back, does come off. You just simply slide it off over his head. So if you want to take that off, you can. The main robe that comes down over his legs is non-removable, and it is a pretty firm plastic, so you're not going to get a whole bunch of mobility out of it. But there are two slits on either side of it, so you can get his legs sticking through those and get him in a wide stance. So that helps with mobility, but because the pieces hanging down in the front and the back are kind of stiff, you're not going to be able to get him kneeling down or anything. And this is where I think maybe Hasbro may want to start looking into incorporating fabric pieces. They do it on the Black Series figures. I don't think I've seen any Marvel Legends, to my knowledge anyway, that use fabric, but I think it really would have helped this figure. So maybe in the future that's something they'll look at. Just touching on articulation really quickly, it's the standard figure that we're used to. It is using pinless joints for the elbows and the knees, so you get a wide range of flexibility there. I really like that. You got the upper bicep swivel. He's not wearing shoes or anything, but you do get the ankle pivot, and you can get his head tilted to either side, looking up and down pretty easily. So the range of motion is decent. I would have liked to see more hands though, like maybe some closed fists would have been nice, but you know, this is what we got. He does have a swivel at the waist that also helps with mobility. Now when you first look at this figure, it may appear to be a bit bland because it is using pretty much all white for his clothing and everything, but it's only when you get up close to look at the details where you're going to find that there's a lot of different things going on here in terms of the fabrics that they're showing or emulating in the plastic. So, you know, when you look up close, you see a lot of wrinkles and the robes and everything that gives it that realistic look. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, you're just not able to get a lot of movement out of it just because it is rather stiff. But it does look good. Towards the bottom of the robes, there's even some weathering going on there where you can see it's a little more dirty than the rest of it. So that adds a sense of realism. So even though it is, you know, pretty much a neutral color, they did a pretty good job with weathering and shading and everything to give it a decent look, to bring some more realism to it. He also has some details on the face, on the back of the head, the arms, with some shading in there as well, and that really helps to figure out. The sword that he has is detailed nicely. There's some brown on the handle. The blade has some detail in it as well. So it's not just a, standard cheap looking blade. I think they did a really good job with the detail on this sword. As far as a height comparison, Gorr does stand a bit taller than Jane, which is good. He's shorter than Thor, which he should be, so no problems there. So I think he'll fit in nicely, especially with other figures from this line. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this guy. The figure came out before the trailer was even released, so this was a lot of people's first look at how Gorr was going to look in the movie. So I think they did a really good job of capturing him. A lot of times when they release a figure early on like that, it's based off of concept art, so they miss some major details. This one, not so much. I think they did a fairly good job of capturing it. I'll have to take a closer look when the movie drops to see other details that I may have missed. One big thing that I did notice are his eyes. In the film and even on the box, they are yellow, but the figure itself, it looks like his eyes are darker brown or black or something. Not really sure what color, but it's definitely not yellow. So that's something that can be fixed. I may take the time and try to go ahead and update that myself, but I did find it a bit strange that the box art was correct, but the figure itself wasn't. So if you're a fan of Gorr the God Butcher from the comics, this may be something you want to look at. The look may turn you off because they updated it for the movie, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this look gonna ruin the movie for you, or is it something that you can look past? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I have more videos on the way. Thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you on the next video.